which we're celebrating now, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, is an opportunity for reconnecting to the Rebbe, although he's physically passed on, Gimel Tammuz. Nevertheless, the Rebbe's entire essence is experienced through Yidden learning his Torah and following his directives. So it's not, something that happened 44 years ago, and therefore, what does it have to do with us today? It has a lot to do with us today because, first of all, just for the record, if the Rebbe would have passed away then from that severe heart attack, many people that identify with Chabad today would not identify with Chabad. Why? Because their identification is through the shluchim and through others who stayed Chabad or became Chabad from 1977 to 1940 to 1994. So historically, that's just a fact. That's not belief. That's actually facts. So this day we remember. It's like the Megillah. We remember a thing that happened thousands of years ago. We celebrate it every year with such simcha. Why, Avram? It happened so many years ago. What does it have to do with us today? The answer is that in Yiddishkeit, in Torah Judaism, an occurrence that happened once is eternal. And there's a halacha that supports that. I think it's important for you to know because A, you should know yourself, and B, if people ask you the question, you'll have what to answer. Kedusha loy zaza mimkaima. Sanctity, holiness doesn't budge, doesn't leave its place. Literally, this is a reference. The Gemara mentions this regarding the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, the sanctity of the holy temple. And you see, we go to the Kaisel. There are those that go to the Temple Mount. The point is, that's a place of holiness. It's thousands of years later. There is no physical Beis Hamikdash standing. The laws of Tum and Tara do not apply of purification, and impurity don't apply today. And nevertheless, everyone runs to the Kaisel. Why? Because Kedusha Leizazim and Kaima. The holiness that once was there vis-a-vis Hashem's presence being the Beis Hamikdash, there's a remnant of it that's still there. So too, with every single tzaddik's avodah in the world, what that tzaddik gave to the world is eternal. So if so, you might ask, so what's special about this tzaddik and this day, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, to anyone else? And the answer is, Einochinami. It's if for someone who doesn't identify with Lubavitch and the Rebbe and all that, for them, it's not special. But for us who do identify, there is a specialty, and there is a koyach that's prevalent and real on this day of Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So now it's up to the players, it's up to us. So I do have to be makatzer. I would love to talk longer, but I do want to wish everyone, first of all, a good Rosh Chodesh Kislev tonight, tomorrow, a good Erev Shabbos Kodesh tomorrow, a good Shabbos Kodesh Shabbos. And then we go into the month of Kislev. And I just want to say, the month of Kislev is a month of light, beginning with Hanukkah and then Yutes Kislev, the day when Hasidism, all of Hasidism, not just Chabad, because as I've told you many times in different Farbrengens and Shiurim, the victory of Yutes Kislev wasn't just for the Alter Rebbe. There were others that were in prison too. For some reason, they don't celebrate it or they don't make a big deal. But again, historically, the Alter Rebbe, the founder of Chabad, wasn't the only one that was ratted on and put into prison. Maybe he got the brunt of it. Not maybe, he got the brunt of it, and he's most popularly known, so that's why it became known as a Chabad festival. I'm writing now, and we'll talk more about it over the course of the year, Mitzvah Hashem. I'm writing about Orthodoxy and Chabad in America, or in the West, in the East Coast, from 1900 to 1950, because the previous Rebbe came twice, once in 1930 to Chicago, for example, and once in 42. The previous Rebbe came in 1930 for a year on a visit, and then in 1940 he came permanently, became a resident of New York, of America, etc. So you see clearly that there were celebrations of Yutas Kislev in St. Louis, in Chicago, in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Could you imagine? In the back roads of New Jersey, there were these Nusach Ari shuls, and once a year, they many of them called it, and they sent out invitations. I'm going to print some in the book in Mitzvah Hashem. The Yutas Kislev party. Like you have a Hanukkah party, you have a Yutas Kislev party. Now, they themselves weren't wearing beards and didn't have payas, but they came from ancestors, parents, and grandparents who were real Lubavitchers in Russia and Ukraine, and they had a sense of commitment and feeling, and they were called Nusach Ari Jews because the text that they used for prayer, for davening, was Nusach Ari, not Ashkenaz, not Sfard. So they became known as Nusach Ari Jews. And they opened up shuls in all of these cities. It's fascinating. It's such an interesting piece of history that the Jewish world, the Orthodox world, has no idea. And I'm not saying they were the only ones. You had Ashkenaz shuls, but nevertheless, I will prove with the Eibish's help how Chabad was a mainstay in Orthodoxy from 1900 to 1950 in all of these places. So we talk about the Shluchim going to Timbuktu today, it's true, but you should know there were Nusach Ari shuls and Lubavitchers all over. And just another point, the question is, where did all these Lubavitchers come from? The answer is from the Tzemach Tzedek's time, 1840, 1830, 1840, 1850, because there is a Hayom Yom that says that the Tzemach Tzedek, I think, had 100,000 Chassidim. 100,000 at that time. And I always asked, where are they? Here it is, Velvel. Velvel is from Russia. And I wouldn't be surprised if Velvel's grandfather or grandmother from either side, whatever, was Lubavitch, was Chabad. And the same is with us Americans. Look, your wife Zayd, the Tanchum Levine, he was a Vancouver boy, right? But he came from Lubavitch Yichus lineage. And this is what I'm exploring now and writing about. So what I'm saying is that the Kedusha Leizozim and Kaima, the holiness that doesn't leave and doesn't budge from its place, is real, and so too with the Rebbe and Rosh Chodesh Kislev. This Kedusha Leizozim and Kaima that we need to celebrate and have an opportunity on this day, and we should know that the month of Kislev is a month of light. So, and actually it's before, like, this year it's November instead of December. So out here it gets, very cold in December going into January. So it's fall, it's not Geferlach, so you still got some of that warmth from the summer. Anyway, L'chaim everyone. We see everyone Monday. We're starting a new mimer. I sent you yesterday. Please keep the PDF of the new mimer. So please keep it. If you didn't get it, let me know. We're starting a beautiful new mimer, via Daita, from 1932. So please come on time on Monday so we could learn. And I'm going to try to get the other fellows. Some people are traveling or out, but hopefully Monday everyone will be back. Have a great Shabbos and a great Rosh Chodesh. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.